My students' history project uncovered a haunted radio and a dead man's letter. Part 1. Every year, I assign my students the same project, the living history interview. It's supposed to connect them to their family's past, but for me, it's a chore. I've been a history teacher for 17 years, and the stories are always the same: ration clothes, long walks to school, and the occasional offhanded, outdated comment from an elderly relative. This year's batch of students wasn't particularly bright, so I expected even less. I poured myself a glass of wine and settled in for an evening of mediocrity. Among the submissions was Olivia's. She was a quiet, unremarkable B student, and her project came with 2 discs. I started with the one marked interview. The video opened with a grainy shot of a cluttered living room. Olivia sat in an armchair, clutching a notebook, across from a man with a gaunt face and a cigarette. "I'm here with my great-uncle Stephen," she began softly. "He's going to tell us about his memories from the army." At first, it was painfully dull. Olivia read from the suggested questions I'd given, and her uncle answered curtly. But then she put the notebook down and asked, "What's your worst memory from the army?" Uncle Stephen stubbed out his cigarette, stood, and left the room. The video cut off. When it resumed, he was back, holding papers. "I found this letter in a school basement in the Balkans," he said. "I'll read it, and then tell you what I saw." A chill ran down my spine. Follow for part 2.